Republicans in the Senate didn't agree on Obamacare repeal and replace version 1.0. Now on version 2.0, Mitch McConnell has already lost 2 of his caucus, 1 more defection, and the bill dies, making for a busy weekend of haggling and horse trading. Our political panel is here. Radio show host Garland Nixon and Eric Beach, chairman of the Great American Pact. Eric, first to you. One of the reasons that this is having such a difficult time is that Republicans themselves don't really agree on what repeal and replace look like. Is it time for them to get in line, or is it worth having this debate?
No, I think it's worth having the debate. I mean, the one thing that they do agree on is repealing Obamacare. Remember, this was a social program.
Well, Eric, no. I mean, they don't all agree on repealing it. They all agree on repeal and replace, but a lot of people say...
Well, they ran on repealing.
Well,
they ran on repealing.
But that doesn't necessarily mean they want to do it.
Yeah, but Leland, there's not a U.S. senator, I don't even think on the Democratic side, that thinks that Obamacare has been working. So they do agree that Obamacare has been failing America, been failing our middle states. And the one area of agreement is that we need to repeal this program immediately. And so I think the replacement's going to take time. So I agree with senators like Rand Paul and some others who say if we can't reach consensus, then let's split into 2 bills and then go ahead and repeal. And let's go back on offense. Is there anyone inside of Missouri for Claire McCaskill or Indiana with Joe Donnelly? Do any of the Democratic senators really believe that Obamacare has been helping Americans? I bet you they don't. So let's go back on offense from a political standpoint. The electoral map looks good in 2018. If Democrats want to run on, maintaining Obamacare status quo, then we're happy to have that debate.
Garland, is that where Republicans should be looking for votes? Should Mitch McConnell say to folks like Jeff Flake, hey, if you want to say no, vote no, vote no. Heller, you want to vote no, vote no. I'm going to go after Claire McCaskill, Joe Manchin, some of the other people that Eric mentioned?
Well, here's the bottom line. I think if this thing's not going to get through, I don't see any way it gets through. And the real killer for the repeal and replace movement is Medicaid. There's no way a Rob Portman or any of the goes back to Ohio and tells 600,000 or 700,000 people on Medicaid, good news, we repealed Obamacare, you don't have any coverage anymore. So what would happen in reality would be the worst thing that could possibly happen to the Republican Party would be that they would pass this bill because they would get wiped out in 2018 and 2020 in the Senate, in the states particularly that expanded Medicaid.
Well, that seems to at least be the fear about repealing and then not actually having a replace bill, with the exception of Rand Paul and some others. This is what the president tweeted about it. The president also ran on repeal and replace Obamacare. It was part of his stump speech in France before he flew home. So important, Republican senators under leadership of Senator McConnell. Republican senators are working hard to get their failed Obamacare replacement approved. I will be at my desk, pen in hand. All of these years of suffering through Obamacare, Republican senators must come through as they have promised. A few different tweets there, another one there talking about Mitch McConnell, and after 7 years of Obamacare disaster, must happen. To you, Eric, the president is the president. As Harry Truman once said, the buck stops there. Who faces the political cost of failure of Obamacare repeal and replace? Do the voters hold the Congress and senators responsible? Do they hold the president responsible?
It's definitely the Congress. The president has done his job. He is putting this into the debate. He got it, pushed through in the House. Now it's at the Senate. But, going back to what Garland said, I mean, where are you going to find the votes in 2018 to overtake the Senate? I mean, look at some of the states where Obamacare has been failing. You look at places like Iowa where 99 counties aren't even getting covered. I mean, it seems to me like we want to have a state-sponsored program like Russia where only 5% of their residents are even covered by health care. So, again, I think, the rhetoric in this debate, we need to take our time to get to the right kind of, and I understand that there's a lot of
Eric, I've got to give Garland,
Sure.
the last word. I've yet to hear in all of the health care discussions anybody talking about the Russian health care system. But you never know, Garland. That could be something people bring up next. So, Garland, to that point, do Democrats let Republicans fail on this, or at some point do you try to throw them a lifeline in the run-up to 2018?
Well, you know, I think what we'll see with the Democrats, the fact of the matter is there are some issues that do need to be addressed in Obamacare, but I think the best thing the Democrats could do would be to do it with honest policy, to say these are the holes and these are the areas that need to be fixed. The problem is repeal and replace was never a policy. It was always a talking point. And so when it came time to come up with a policy to match the talking point, they couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, repeal was the first talking point. Then we got to repeal and replace, repeal being what Eric was talking about. Garland, Eric, appreciated, fellas. Great talking to you.
Thanks, Leland.
Good discussion.